Alright, here we are for hopefully the last maths remote learning lesson you guys will ever have to do in your entire lives, fingers crossed. It's not a flashback Friday, we've got too much to do, too much to look forward to. We're doing more algebra today, we are doing multiplication. Okay, we've done plussing, we've done minusing, it's time to do some multiplication. It's just a little bit different than plussing. It's pretty easy. The main thing is that you don't get it mixed up with plussing and minusing. Okay, so here is the glossary definition, and again, we're going to fill out our glossaries when you guys come back. Um, so don't worry about copying it down today. We'll have a catch-up glossary session when we give you all the stuff that goes from this part of the unit. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Now you just have to know the stuff. All right, when we simplify algebra, right, because that's really what we're doing. We're taking big kind of rows of letters and stuff and just making it simpler, like we did with our like terms last two lessons. But to simplify with timesing, with multiplication, yeah, just cram everything next to each other, because things that are next to each other are multiplying each other. Okay, so when I write 10ABC, it's really 10 times A times B times C. But it's just very bad form for us to actually put the multiplication symbols in for a few reasons. One is that it's just nicer, like this looks nicer than this does, it's shorter, it's easier to work with, and also the time symbol kind of looks like the letter X. And we use the letter X a lot in our maths, and we don't want to get those things mixed up with each other. Alright, so the main difference here between adding and multiplying, right, is that we can add like terms, right? We've been through this before, that you can add things that are the same. I can put B and two B's together. I can put banana and two bananas together and not say it's silly like, hey, look, I got a banana and two bananas. No one talks that way. You say, I've got three bananas, right? I can add them together to write it simpler, right? B plus 2B is 3B. But I cannot add unlike terms, right? A and B are different. So the simplest way of writing A plus 2B is to just keep it as A plus 2B. They do not go together. You cannot add an apple and two bananas to have three of something. But that rule does not apply to multiplication. Okay, we do not care. You can multiply whatever you feel like, you just smush them together. Okay, so if you're going A times B, the correct way of writing that is to just remove the multiplication symbol and write AB. Okay, they are both there, they are both next to each other. They are multiplying each other, right? I read this as if A is multiplying B because that's how you write algebra. We're really just chopping out the time symbols. Doesn't matter if there's like a number in front of one of them. 3A times B, put all the elements together. There's a 3, an A, and B. You've got half a six-pack, right? You've got 3 abs, 3AB. If there's more than one number being multiplied, then you should use your times tables, right? These things still have to be times together. Okay, so I'd start by putting the number out the front, the coefficient out the front. It starts with a 12, and then you can put A and B after it, okay? So two six-packs, right? 12 abs. 12 by multiplying numbers, then A and B just all get crammed in there. Same thing here. Doesn't matter how far apart the numbers are, right? They multiply together, right? Everything's being multiplied, so put that 5 and that 4 together. It's 20, right? Because that's timesing. You're actually timesing these numbers. And then alphabetical order is the best order, right? So I have an A, a B, and a C. So we put them in as such. All right, now where it gets a little bit more interesting is when you've got the same letter, and we'll deal with that in a moment because I'm going to write down the number 12 first, putting the 4 and the 3 there. Now I have an A and another A, and they're not batteries, so we don't write double A, right? This is not the correct way to do it. Hopefully you guys didn't turn the video off as soon as I wrote the second one. We have a way already that we've learnt of dealing with something that's multiplying itself. Okay, we learnt it much, much earlier in the year that another way of writing something like 4 times 4, a nicer way of saying that is I've got 4 squared. Right, we have powers to represent the same thing multiplying itself. Right, 4 times 4 times 4, as we learnt previously, is 4 to the power of 3, 4 cubed. Right, we use powers when we're timesing the same thing by itself. Okay, and that still applies to letters. Right, I have an A and I have another A. So we say I have an A and it's squared, right, because there's two of them. All right, so what you'll be doing a fair bit today when you start off, you'll be getting questions like, you know, what's A times A times A times A? And you just count them up And you don't put a 4 out the front because that's A plus A plus A plus A, right? That's 4 A's. You have to put a power because powers are what we use when something's being multiplied over and over again. Now, I don't know if the questions get as spicy as this one here, where you've already got powers, but I'll write down the answer anyway. It's got a 10 out the front, a 2 with a 5. And then if you happen to see anything that looks like this, uh, you should view this as having 3 bunches of A already. This is 5 more bunches of A. So you'd add those two numbers together and put a little 8 there. Right? This was one of them and another, so it made 2. This is 3 and 5, it makes 8. Right? Main thing is that you're just putting any numbers you see together, and you smush those letters together, and when you have the same letter, right, like up here, you can represent that as a power. All right, that is enough instruction to hopefully get you through this worksheet and hopefully get you back to school next Monday in one piece, and we'll see you then.